good end for a short film is planting about 5 or 10 seconds before the credits roll a very meaningful symbolic gesture that leaves the viewer with something really interesting to replay in his or her mind as the film ends. And if you can do that, then viewers will be left feeling that there's some real depth here. One of the things that's really meant a lot to me throughout my career has been building a bridge between university research and the film community. In addition to teaching, making short films and TV spots and doing research on that, I've also started a journal, a peer-reviewed journal called Short Film Studies, and each new issue is launched at a film festival, so that there's a connection between university research and the community of festivals and filmmakers, and that is really important to me. I write short film manuscripts and think also that it's a good thing that someone who teaches other people to write scripts ought to be able to write a decent script himself or herself. The one short film production that I'm most proud of is called 7 Minutes in the Warsaw Ghetto. It was directed and animated by Johann Oettinger, and thanks mainly to his fantastic work, the film has won a number of awards and been shown at more than 120 festivals. He did brilliant work, and usually when a director changes a script, the screenwriter goes nuts. But Johann improved my script in important ways, so I'm very grateful to him. Taught myself painting and drawing. My walls are covered with paintings, as you can see, and I stopped painting, I think, about 10 years ago, and my feeling is that in order to really become engaged in painting, I need to be unhappy, and I've simply been too content lately. So I think the latest paintings on the walls are from the 1990s. But I've begun drawing again. It's a little easier for me to draw, to just work with in black and white. I end all of my production courses with a wrap party at my apartment. And the students always notice the statue, of course, and they ask about it. And I tell, as part of the ritual at each of these wrap parties, the story of the statue. And just the very short version is that I got fired at a Quaker college I was teaching at in the United States in the 60s, 1960s, because I was too active in the anti-war movement. And the sculptor in residence at the college asked if he could make a statue of me. So he made the statue, which, of course, I moved to New York when I got a job at Columbia University. And when my wife and I decided we wanted to move to Denmark, we wanted to live in a civilized country, the professor at the department to which I applied, which at that time was the Romance Language Department, came down from Harvard University, where he was a visiting professor, and interviewed me. And he saw the statue in my apartment, and I found out years later that he wrote back to the hiring committee and said, "You'll never guess what this guy has in his apartment." And I'm sure that that played an important role in my getting the job. I have the greatest respect and affection for my colleagues, both professionally. I think their research and teaching is the highest quality, and also personally, they're wonderful people. And one of the things I especially appreciate is that at no point these last years has anybody tapped me on the shoulder and said, Richard, don't you think maybe it's time to retire? Never any hint of anyone thinking that it was time for me to retire. It was entirely my own decision. And that's something I especially appreciate. I love stories that are told in just a few minutes or even just seconds. And actually, Jewish jokes have always been important to me. Anybody who's grown up in Brooklyn has Jewish jokes as part of their culture. And one of the fun things at my department is that at every one of our Christmas parties, I usually get to tell some of the Jewish jokes. And people have been so nice. Even though it's the same jokes I tell year after year, they always laugh. One of the jokes that that my colleagues always enjoy at these Christmas parties is this one. A grandmother is walking along the beach with a 3-year-old grandson when a wave crashes up on the beach and carries the little boy out to sea. And the grandmother is desperate, and she turns to the heavens and says, "Please, God, send the boy back. I'll do anything. I'll become the best person. I'll pray in the synagogue 3 times a day. I'll give charity to the poor. Just send the boy back." The very next moment, another wave carries the boy back onto the beach. And the grandmother looks at him and turns to the heavens and says, "He had a hat." The moral is nobody can satisfy a Jewish mother. I'll be retiring, but it's going to be a very active retirement. I'm going to be on a jury at a film festival in Lisbon in May. I'm going to give seminars at other film festivals in Norway and the UK. I'm still going to edit my journal, Short Film Studies, which in itself is full-time work. I'm also giving master classes at 3 film schools in Estonia and two in England. And I've got an exhibition of graphics set up at Gallery Gallo in April. And I'll still be teaching summer university courses and courses at a school I helped to found called Multi-Platform Storytelling and Production. And I'll still advise thesis students. So as you can see, I'll be busy, and there's no risk of boredom. One of the things I'm most proud of is helping to start a new film education in Aarhus, filmmaker education in Aarhus, called Multi-Platform Storytelling and Production. It's in its 4th year now. The students are incredibly skillful and imaginative. School is a great success. And a few years ago, I think largely for my work in helping to establish the school, the city of Aarhus gave me a culture hat as a kind of recognition of my contribution to the culture of the city. And this is what it looks like.